half the people that are normally there I know aren't going to be there, so we're going to do a Torah study tonight.
Okay, thank you, Rabbi. Hi, sweetheart.
One of these times, bring your book, and I'll repair. I have that mending tape,
Thank you.
library mending tape, and I'll so that you won't, the binding won't get mixed up anymore than it is. Okay?
Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hi, Shabbat Shalom, sweetie. Shabbat Shalom. Good to see you. I don't know. Oh, okay.
Desperately, because I've lost half my files.
Oh, no. Well, he's here tonight. He's talking to Michael. Hi, Susan. How are you, buddy?
Rabbi asked me to chant Torah for the May service. Well, he originally asked for April, and I reminded him that it's the day after Michael's procedure, so I don't even know if I'll be here. Plus, I need a little more than a few weeks to learn it.
Right. So when are we having a service in May? Because of Rita's
I think it'll be the second Saturday like it was supposed to be. I don't know. I asked him that, he didn't answer me yet.
Okay, because
But
I'll
I
be
asked him if
gone
he
the
would
second
record it for
Saturday.
me again, because that really is the easiest way for me to learn it.
Yeah, for sure. Hi! How are you, sweetie? I haven't seen you before.
So, stand up.
It doesn't clash with my outfit.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Let's try that one again. Good evening. So, before we get started with our service tonight, two public service announcements. First one, thank you to Joe Swit. We have now entered the 21st century. We will not be using matches any longer. If you come to light the Shabbos candles, you will see this. It's currently on. I'm going to turn it off. When you come up to light the candles, and Betsy, where are you? I'm talking to you. Okay? You press this little button up, and then you press the button on the top, and it lights. And you use that to light the candles. No, we don't need a shamus for Shabbat. You only use a shamus for Hanukkah. So we're going to break that tradition. We have 2 candles on Shabbat to light. That's it. What I have seen too many times is people light that shamash candle and then it falls over and then we get a fire. So we're going to use this without a shamash candle from now on. That's the first public service announcement. The second public service announcement. Let me explain the word hacked to you. Okay. If you get a text message from somebody who you don't recognize saying they are so-and-so, you are not being hacked. That's called phishing. If you respond to that text, then you've been hacked. So if you get a text message that says, Aaron, we want to go golfing with you. I haven't been hacked either. That's a phisher. You respond to that person, you get hacked. So if you get a message from me that says, Rabbi Aaron Box would like to blah, 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 if you click on the number and it's not my number, I have not been hacked. Now, if you get a text message from my cell phone, then I have been hacked. Let's be clear here, because if you walk up to me and say, were you hacked? And I'm like, what do you mean? Well, I got a text asking you if you wanted to play golf. Someone's trying to hack you. So let's be clear. Don't respond to those. Those are called phishers, PH. And if you respond to them, then you get in trouble, because then they have your information. Email's the same way. If you get an email from someone that you don't know and they're saying that you owe them money or whatever, or they want to collect on a bill, delete, block, spam. That's how we can avoid being hacked. Okay. You know, there should be a little star that goes above my head. The more you know. Ding. Before we start with our regular announcements of positive things, I haven't said it yet. Just wait. I said before. Michael Barron, where are you? Okay. Do you have your star with you? No. Okay. So Michael and Roxanne Barron, actually, they not spray painted, they stained glass and painted these, not painted? Whatever, people. Stained glass, these beautiful blue and white Stars of David, and the Barons donated them to the gift shop. They're beautiful to hang on your porch or your patio or on your front door or front window. So if you were interested in purchasing one, not tonight, but please speak with Rochelle. Well, you can speak to Rochelle tonight or Jackie. I was getting there. They will not sell them to you tonight, but if you're interested, they can show them to you and you can buy them another time. It's a wonderful way to donate money to the temple without having to actually give money, because when someone buys it, the money comes to the temple. So thank you for that. Now, Betsy. That's what we're doing.
We have been saying Michael's name in the Mishabera for a long time, and
Are we taking it off?
we are taking it off.
I thought you were going to announce something else about Michael Brody.
Wednesday, he had an ablation and got a pacemaker, and within 24 hours, he became a new man. We are going to go on our trip to celebrate his birthday, which is a week from Sunday, and we will be gone for 2 weeks, but we are celebrating.
We are not celebrating that you're going to be gone.
No, we are celebrating his birthday a week in advance tonight.
And how old is Michael going to be?
85.
You are married to an 85-year-old man? Wow, all right. He was much younger when they met, right? Well, happy birthday to Michael. We hope that you enjoy your trip, and thank God Michael is a new man. Not that there was anything wrong with the old man, but listen, you can say that, Betsy. I cannot. Any other? Yes, Wayne. That's not really an announcement, but sure. Where are you going, Betsy?
We're taking a cruise around the British Isles.
Beautiful, beautiful. Any other positive news, birthdays, anniversaries? Yes. Oh, goodness gracious.
After being laid off 3 times in 18 months from consulting software companies, I'm now going to the mothership.
Google?
Software company and start on the 8th. So
Is the mothership Google? Oracle, the other mothership. Well, congratulations. Wow, I feel like a king should just walk in the door. Oh, wait. You got that. I totally did it on purpose. No, I really didn't. I completely forgot that you were the king for a minute there. It was wonderful. Did you have an announcement you wanted to make, Bruce? No, okay. Your phone wants to make an announcement. Carly.
I'm just reminding you all that Footloose is opening in 2 weeks. It's going to be April 11th. Sorry, Footloose, which is a musical, is opening April 11th, and it's going through the 14th. And if you want to get tickets, come over to me. Not right now. After service, come to me, and I'll get your email, and I can send you the link. It's all online.
I purchased tickets today. It's very easy. I'm going on Thursday. Botcha's going on Saturday, or she's going on Thursday, and I'm going on Saturday. We haven't determined yet. There will be a boxed parent on Thursday and Saturday. Any other announcements? Yes, Rochelle.
We're going to set up this big shop next week for a lot of Pesach things.
Okay. So if you want to get Pesach stuff, please check out the gift shop next week. Anything else? Okay. In that case, I will invite Betsy Brody up to light our Shabbos candles on page 2. And I'm not going to give you a microphone because you're not going to use it anyway. And we're at the time of year again when the sun's going to blind us. It's the candle, folks. It's not the lighter. We need better candles with bigger wicks. We need better wicks. So we're going to light Shabbat candles for next Friday as well. The match, it won't make a difference. People, it's the candles. The candles aren't lighting. There we go. We got it. Yay. See, we just needed Joe to the rescue. We continue in our service on page 6. 6. We enter this sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. We continue on page 11, singing Dodi Li. Page 14. Sing to Adonai a new song. Sing to Adonai all the earth. Sing to Adonai, bless God's name. Proclaim God's victory day after day. Tell of God's glory among the nations, God's wondrous deeds among all peoples. For Adonai is great and much acclaimed. God is held in awe by all divine beings. All the gods of the prophets are mere idols, but Adonai made the heavens. Glory and majesty are before God. Strength and splendor are in God's temple together. Let the heavens rejoice and the earth exult. Let the sea and all within it thunder. The fields and everything in them exult. Then shall all the trees of the forest shout for joy at the presence of Adonai, for God is coming. For God is coming to rule the earth. God will rule the world justly and its peoples in faithfulness. We continue with Lecha Dodi on page 20. Remain standing. We turn to page 26 for Chatzi Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah V'alma divrach Rutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala, ba'agala, uvizman kariv, v'meru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach, le'olam u'ol me'almaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitale, v'yiletalal, Shmei Kudusha Brichu. Leila min kol berchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechemata. Damiran bialma. V'meru. Amen. Page 28, Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. Please be seated. I'm going to apologize in advance for not looking up at you, but right now, if I look up, I'm going to look straight into the sun, and I will go blind. We continue with Ma'ariv Aravim on page 30. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim b'chokhmah poteach sha'arim uvitvana mishanei itim umachalif et hazmanim umsader et ha'kochavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or. Uma'avir yom umevi layla umavdil bein yom uvein layla. Adonai tzivaot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. We continue with Ahavat Olam, page 32. Bacha just mouthed to me, I need a yarmulke with a visor. So if anybody wants to create that, we get 10% of all proceeds, because it was her idea. I can't imagine it hasn't been done before. Just you wait. That's what Alexander Hamilton said. Please rise for the Shema on page 34. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Please be seated. We continue reading on page 37 in English together. Love you, Lord your God, with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Page 39, we read responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Micha Mocha, page 40. Page 42. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. We continue on page 45. Instead of singing Yismechu, we're going to turn on page 45 and read in English together. A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night. Eternity utters a day. Please rise. We turn to page 46 for the Amidah. Adonai, sefaitai tiftach, ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chaste Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lima'an Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atarav lehoshia. Mashiv haruach umorid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim. So make noflim verofei cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afar, michamocha baal gevurot, umido melach, Melech meimit umechaye umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman atah l'hachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai mechaye hakol Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. We continue on page 55. Disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency. Make us dissatisfied. Dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Shock us, Adonai. Deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. We continue with a beautiful rendition of Ritzeh, page 56.
Ritzeh Adonai Eloheinu, be'amcha Yisrael, u'tefilatam be'ahava tekabel, u'tehi ratzon
Page 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. Shalom Rav, page 60.
Shabbat Shalom. Tonight I'm going to sing a beautiful Shabbat Shalom Rav by composer Michael Isaacson. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Ki Atahu Melech Atom L'chol HaShalom V'tov be'einecha levarech Et Amcha Yisrael בכל עת ובכל שעה בשמך. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל ישראל בשלום המברך את עמו ישראל
Before we come to our prayer for peace on page 62, which the choir will sing, will lead us in, Oseh Shalom. Before we do that, though, when people come to services on a Friday night or Saturday morning or during the week, if that's your thing, everybody has different reasons for why they come to services. Some connect with the music, some connect with the prayers, some connect with the spirituality of being in community. But the point is that this is a service. It's a holy experience. When you go to a concert, it can also be a holy experience, but it's a concert. It's perfectly appropriate and okay to cheer and clap at a concert. But in a service, if you want to show your appreciation for the spirituality that you are getting from a particular song that's being sung, you can close your eyes, you can smile, you can speak to the people afterwards and let them know that they really connected with you, or you can do what Rachel just did, and you can do this. It's a silent way of showing your appreciation because it's not a concert. And it is sign language, yes, but it's also Native American as well. It's not, I learned that at High Meadows Camp. It is not a concert, so therefore we don't want to disrupt somebody else's spirituality by clapping. Now there are times, by the way, during our services when I say it's okay for you to clap now. But after Ritzeh or Oseh Shalom or after a particular version of whatever song we're singing, it's more appropriate to just let it sit and be with that moment. Oseh Shalom, page 62.
Oseh Shalom, Shalom b'romav, Hu yaseh Shalom aleinu,
So on Shabbat, when we do the Amidah prayers, when we recite the prayers of the Amidah, we don't recite all 19. It's a misnomer. Shemona Esrei means 18, but there's actually 19 prayers. But we don't say all 19 because we recognize God needs Shabbat too. So all of the petitionary prayers that normally come during the Amidah, we don't do those, with the exception of one that was brought back years before I was born, and that's the Mishaberach. Because we recognize that even though we are resting and God is resting, there's always someone in our community that needs some kind of support or healing prayers. Whether it's people who are soldiers fighting in the army, in a war, which is unnecessary for so many reasons, but it's still a war that needs to be fought. Whether it's people in our community that are sick or ill, or it's people in our own congregation whose lives are at risk. And so we've been saying the names of the IDF soldiers since Shabbat after October 7th. And a couple of weeks ago I mentioned Omer Nutra and the fact that we've been saying his name as a captive, someone who was taken hostage. And I mentioned that when I was in Philadelphia, I found his picture painted by a Philadelphian, and I said I didn't remember who it was that had us add it to the list, and then Betsy Brody saw me afterwards and said that it was actually she and Michael's son, who's a rabbi, who Omer Nutra's family are members of his congregation. Well, the saga of Omer Nutra continues. Bobby Harris, who is the former camp director of Camp Coleman, who was the camp director when I was on staff at Camp Coleman, is Omer's cousin. And he sent me pictures of him and Omer from like 30 years ago in Israel. And boy, they both looked very different. But the point is that we will continue to say Omer Nutra's name until he and all the rest of the hostages are released. And we add to those names Yosef Shlomo Yishai, Yotam Amichai ben Rochel Tamar, Ofer Avid Avi Prager, Daniel Kaufman, Hanan Zanger, Tom Heffer, Yuval Zanger, Itamar Golan, Hadar Kirsch, Gal Cohen, Hezi Gilboa, Asher Katz, Roy Neer, Erez Eshel Nadav Yakir, Ori Schneider, Roy Ashkenazi, Matan Pedro, Shai Shupak, David Avidan, Shachar Sonego, and Shimon Sonego. If there is a name of an Israeli that is either in captivity or is fighting in the IDF right now, please raise your hand. We add to those prayers those in our community who are in need of healing: Steve Jacobson, Janet Weiner, Judy Eber, Stan Webman, Barbara B. Adler, Betsy Brody, Rita Singer, Larry Handelman, Susan DiPaolo, Rob Price, Linda Donaldson, Jay and Janet Kreisman. If there is a name you'd like to add in our Misha Berach prayers, please raise your hand.
Rita Lewiston Singer.
I said Rita, but no, it's okay. We can. I didn't say the Lewison part. That's what you were listening for.
Lynn Grasberg, Debbie Grasberg-Myers, and Graham Gerard.
And she needs all of our prayers as much as possible, by the way. Rita. Yes. Mm. Mildred. Michael. Michael. Rochelle. Bruce. Jody, you have your hand up? No, okay. Naomi. Pacha. Andrew. We turn to page 253 and we sing the words of Misha Berach. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu, mekor habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Yesterday, while I was sitting and talking with a member of the congregation in my office, he asked me, "What is your sermon about this week?" I responded, "I do not know. I haven't written it yet." Yes, those words shocked me. I have always been someone who works ahead. One of my professors at Hebrew Union College gave me a card at graduation, and the following was written on the envelope. The quote, "Don't let the grass grow under my feet, Rabbi." Even back then, some 15 years ago or so, and perhaps for my entire life, I have always been moving. Getting things done last minute was not a part of my understanding. So my answer yesterday was very unlike me. This week has been quite busy. In many ways, it has felt much more than a week, perhaps a month. I'm not just speaking for myself. We've all been busy, going from here to there and everywhere else in between. And this month, well, let's call it a year. Truthfully, our lives have sort of been turned inside out for quite a while, perhaps beginning on October 7th, 2023. And yet what has remained constant, this congregation, our Temple Beth Shalom family, has kept us all afloat, even while we may have turned our focus away from Ocala to other cities and states and countries. So what does this have to do with our Jewish selves? What and how can we be inspired this week to keep going forward? Before we turn to our sacred text, the Torah, let's first examine what is right in front of us. Turn to your left. Now turn to your right. Look behind you. And now look in front of you. What you see all around you is community, our Jewish family. Within these sacred walls sit the answer to all of our questions, or at least the beginnings of these answers. It is our ability to come together every week on Shabbat and just take a nice, long breath. Shabbat enables us to refresh ourselves, but it is our fellow TBS family members that make everything sweeter. In this week's Torah portion, Tzav, we find an important reminder of God's presence in our lives. Eish tamid tukad al hamizbeach lo techabeh. A perpetual fire shall be kept burning on the altar, not to go out. This one verse, Leviticus chapter 6, verse 6, repeats the commandment first mentioned in Exodus, instructing that the perpetual fire, which represents God's presence in the lives of the Israelites, shall remain at all times burning on the altar. Yes, it is not only the people of our TBS family that keeps us going. It is God's perpetual presence in our lives as well. Turning all the way back to Genesis, Bereshit, we find another valuable line of text. Vayivra Elohim et ha'adam b'tzalmo, b'tzelem Elohim bara oto, zachar unukeva bara otam. And God created humankind in the divine image, creating it in the image of God, creating them male and female. This one verse of Torah makes an invaluable statement. All of us, all of humankind, were created in God's image. This means that not only does God dwell within our communities, God also dwells within every one of us. When we open our eyes in the morning and we begin our days, we are commanded to do God's work, to live the kind of lives God would. And when we forget that God is with us, all we have to do is look to another person and see God in them as well. When we come to temple on Friday night, not only do we see God's light, the Ner Tamid, but we see God in the smiling faces of all present. This is a powerful image, a powerful idea, perhaps hard to fathom, but true nonetheless. Of course, there is a lot more to this week's Parsha. I only quoted one verse, Leviticus 6:6. To be exact, there are 97 verses in Parshat Tzav. The very large majority of these verses deal with the very important tasks involved with all of the sacrifices that were to take place. The tasks are repeated over and over and over again to ensure that the offerings were done right. It is a very direct and distinct order of instructions. The closing verses of this parsha deal with the anointment or the ordination of Aaron and his sons as priests. So why does God give us these very detailed instructions over and over and over and over and over and over again? It does, after all, seem quite monotonous. Well, if we look at our lives over the past few months, or even perhaps longer, what we find is the exact opposite. We are not really sure how each day will turn out with regards to Israel, what is going on in our own state, and certainly the uneasiness of not knowing what will happen next in our own lives or in the lives of our congregation. To me, it seems that the monotony of this week's Torah seems comforting. While we may feel topsy-turvy in our own lives, the Torah gives us a sense of structure, even as mundane as it may seem. And to be honest, this is one of the most important truths of Shabbat. Close your eyes for a moment. Think about the week that has just ended. Look at all you have accomplished. Forget about what still lays ahead to be finished. Now open your eyes and remember why you chose to be here on Friday night. It is being together in prayer, in song, in friendship, and in so many other ways. These are the reasons why we have community. Judaism is a religion based in community. We cannot do it alone. And when you look around you at this wonderful family, why would you want to? While some of the Torah readings may seem tedious, or dare I say boring at times, it has kept us alive as a people for generation after generation after generation. And when we come together, it has so much more value, worth, and importance. Let me tell a story to illustrate. In a dream, a man enters a house filled with candles in every room. Some are burning brightly, some dimly, some barely sputtering. He finds the caretaker and asks what the candles mean. The caretaker replies, Each candle is a different soul on earth. The ones burning brightly are in the prime of their life. Those flickering are people dying. When their candle goes out, the person dies. As the keeper, the caretaker, leaves the room, immediately the visitor starts to search for his own candle. He sees it flickering in the corner. Frantically, he looks for more oil to pour into his bowl to feed the flame. He then starts to take oil from another bowl. Just then, his hand is grasped by the caretaker. "That's not how it's done here," the caretaker says. "Your candle doesn't burn brighter when you take oil from someone else. Your candle burns brighter when you give oil to someone else, not take it." The man picks up his candle and pours off some of its oil onto other ones. When he puts it down, his flame begins to burn brighter, and then he wakes. My wish is that all of us continue to support each other in any way possible. May we open our minds and our eyes to the diverse possibilities that are out there. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will. And now I'd like to invite our children up to the bima. By children, I mean those under bar mitzvah age, not those who are children at heart. I invite you to please stand as we turn to page 282 for Aleinu. Aleinu shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu ki goye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot hadama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, Vegoralenu kechol hamonam, vanachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech, malachei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Page 287. Vene'emar, V'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yihye Adonai echad, ushemo echad. Please be seated. Why should I wish to see God better than this day? I see something of God in each hour of the 24, and each moment then. In the faces of men and women I see God, and in my own face in the glass. I find letters from God dropped in the street, and every one is signed by God's name. And I leave them where they are, for I know that wheresoever I go, others will punctually come forever and ever. This Shabbat, our congregation commemorates the death anniversaries, the yahrzeits of Eli Chubby Schifrin, uncle of Ann Conley, Elliot Mesnick, Lillian Glazer Garfinkel, mother of Raoul Garfinkel, Bertha Estern, grandmother of Janet Kreisman, Abraham Fallick, Solomon Jeanette, father of Deborah Jeanette, Julius Weiss, father of Hilary Zeleznik, Mary Dowd, mother of Julie Rockland, Stephen Jarofsky, husband of Rochelle Jarofsky, Ida Beshany, Jean Kupchik, mother of Diane Gilmore. We are in Shloshim for Jean Kincaid, and we are in Shiva, the 7-day mourning period for Barbara Roth, mother of Lauren Klein. If there is a name you'd like to add in our prayers for memory this Shabbat, please raise your hand. We rise as a community and we join on page 294 in the words of the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon v'yomechon, u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv imru. Amen. Yehe shemei Rabbah mivorach le'olam olamei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'rechu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'yimru. Amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mrumav, huya asei shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru. Amen. Zichronam livracha, may all their memories be for a blessing. And we say together, Amen. Please be seated. I'd like to now invite our president up for some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Few notes. I want to remind everyone that on the 13th, we have our Saturday morning. It's going to be a Torah study, not a full Saturday service. We have several people that can't come that usually come, so we're not sure we'll get a million, so we're going to make it a Torah study on the 13th. On the 14th, we're going to have an update on Israel. Also, it's the Sisterhood General Meeting. The 19th is family service, just in case you want to come. April 19th, Eton Chamberlain. A lot of us old folks that have been member a long time remember him. He moved to Israel, and he's going to be a guest speaker. He's here visiting. And I want to push our Seder. The second night Seder is on the 23rd. You just need to contact Julie or Vanessa in the office and write your check, not tonight. And in the memo put for the Seder. We're still looking for interfaith volunteers for July and then September and beyond. And Betsy's here and would be glad to explain anything to you. Rabbi and Bacha are still going to Israel in November if you want to join them. This week's Onik is sponsored by Betsy and Michael Brody in honor of Michael's 85th birthday. Happy birthday again. And the Bima Flowers are sponsored by Naomi Berman in honor of Lisa's 60th birthday. Michelle Koski in honor of Meredith's birthday, Wayne Hasted in honor of Oakley's birthday, Ted and Marcelle Swimmer in honor of their 55th wedding anniversary, David Glitness in honor of his 34th birthday, and David Glitness and Haley Pierre in honor of their anniversary. And again, Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, I never turn myself off. Interesting. I want to say thank you to the choir and to Dale and Raul for your beautiful music and inspirational pieces this evening, not this morning. The closing song this evening is Olam Chesed Yibaneh, but before we sing that, I would like to invite or to ask my daughter Carly to please make sure that you get a piece of the challah that Rachel made, because I don't usually get the challah. Because I don't usually get there until the very end, and I want to make sure that I get a piece tonight. And I told Rachel I was going to ask my kids to make sure to save me a piece of challah. There's 2 really nice made challahs in there. Just make sure you get a piece for me. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Michael Brody 2.0 will be leading us in Hamotzi and Kiddush in the Oneg in the social hall. Shabbat Shalom.